Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on my video. This is a channel, right now at least, where I ask questions to my followers on Instagram and I get answers and I share them with you. My goal is to extract wisdom and just different ideas from everyday people, friends, Instagram followers, and then just be able to share that with you guys and hopefully give you guys insight to whatever question we are talking about today. My name is Josh Wickland. We'll get started right away. Alright, so the question today is pretty simple. It's just, what is your favorite quote? And I'm going to read some of the Instagram responses that I received. God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. This is helpful to just kind of step back and picture yourself, and it's literally at the core of your being. God has not made you with a spirit of fear. Like, that's not even a part of you. Sure, people get fearful, but the fact that we can look at that, we have been given a spirit of power, love, self-discipline, but not fear. That's so far away. It's the total opposite of the spirit that we have in us, that we can kind of rest knowing that that fear that just kind of creeps in isn't even a part of us, and we can use that to kind of look in the mirror at ourselves and see what's truly inside. Power, love, self-discipline versus fear. And I think it's just kind of like realizing that you are this, or I am this. I think that'll help, I guess, mentally drive you into things you're able to accomplish, rather than constantly telling yourself, I have a spirit of fear or timidity. Yeah, take from that what you will. The next one, it's not your fault you're fucked up. It's your fault if you stay up. That's pretty profound. And you can't really argue with it. I think there's a lot of people, there's too many people who grow up and will constantly place blame on their upbringing, whether that be my parents were divorced, my parents were abusive, my parents did this, my siblings did this, my aunt and uncle did this. And a lot of these situations, they suck. And obviously they will affect your psychology growing up. And what are you supposed to do when you're 3, 4, or 5, or 6 and these traumatic experiences happen? Like, those are not your fault. They cannot be your fault. But I think the problem is that when you have nothing to do with it when you're a child, there's nothing you can do about it. But when you become an adult, you are the sovereign being, where you as a human, you're above your circumstances. Circumstances, like things that happen, how can those have more power than you? I want to say this in the most empathetic way I can, that in no way am I saying circumstances don't have the power to change or modify you, but to what extent are you going to let them do that? I've seen, it's a meme or just a photo of two men. One was a businessman, very successful, and one was an alcoholic. And they were both asked the same question. Why? One was asked, why are you an alcoholic? And the other was asked, why aren't you an alcoholic? And they both responded, because my father was an alcoholic. And I think that paints such a perfect picture of you being able to take whatever is thrown at you and turn it into either something good or something bad. So yeah, it's not your fault if you're effed up, but it's your fault if you stay effed up. You have the power to change. You gotta believe that, and you gotta move on it. If you see an area you need change, put in the work. That's all I'm gonna say. Next one. I especially like this one. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And that actually kind of correlates with what I was just saying. Nothing that's happened in your past can make you feel inferior because of what happened in your past. It goes back to placing blame on outside circumstances. And people, including myself, need to learn to shut that off from other people and just realize that you're in control of yourself. No one else can make you feel a certain way. They don't have the power to reach into your soul and twist and mold it the way they want to. That is up to you. And you can't just get into the moment and have somebody saying things, be like, nope, shut that off. Nope, that doesn't matter. Most people at least, need training in this area. You need to be able to learn to shut that off. You need to be able to read books on it, write papers on it if you have to, if writing helps you remember, meditate on it, think about it. Just be prepared. I'm trying to think of an analogy for being prepared. I'm going to go back to fitness for a metaphor. You will not be able to lift 100 pounds if you haven't already been able to lift 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 pounds. You had to train yourself to be prepared. So you got to train yourself to be able to shut off those outside voices or inside voices. Even if it's you telling yourself first, maybe start there. Learn to shut off the inside voices telling you the opposite of what you need to hear. So that way you can extract that out of yourself and be able to use that instead of letting other people and what they say bother you or mold you. Learn how to shut that down. You are in control of you. No one else. Remember that. Meditate on it. Next question. Next answer. A fish with its mouth closed never gets caught. I actually had to clarify this one because I thought of two meanings for it. And I really like both meanings. So the actual meaning is a fish with its mouth closed never gets caught. What the meaning of that is, the meaning of that is it's having to do with gossip. Silence a lot of times is better than saying the wrong thing or saying too much. People like to talk. Everyone has a habit of just talking a little too much, and then we all know how you talk, and it gets spread and spread and spread, and something that does not matter can turn into something that does matter to someone else, and is the dumbest thing ever. I'm not even going to elaborate because we've all been in a situation where somebody or you have said too much, and then it came back, and it's like, I shouldn't have even said that. Like even if it's something where it's like, I should be able to say that, and it shouldn't affect anyone else, it did. It's frustrating. But anyway, yeah. So if you keep your mouth shut, it's better than saying the wrong thing. So just practice silence. Another meaning that I got from this, which I actually really like too, that I kind of just assumed in my own mind that this is meaning, is that it's actually kind of on the opposite, where it's not always good to keep your mouth closed. And this is more metaphorical, I guess, the way I pictured it. I think in metaphors a lot, so I think that's why I perceived it this way. A fish with his mouth closed will never get caught. It's safe. It never has to get outside of its comfort zone. But a fish with his mouth closed will also never eat. So if you keep your mouth closed all the time, you'll never get hurt. You never take risk. Keep your mouth closed, you never take risk. You're gonna be safe. If you have any big dreams in your life, but you have a good paying job right now, like you don't take risks, you're not gonna get hurt. You're fine, you're comfortable. But you're never gonna experience the joy of eating. The joy of plenty. Of consuming these different kinds of foods. You're sitting there with your mouth shut trying to stay as comfortable as possible so you don't get caught. And there's going to be that off chance that you do get caught. You bite the hook. And that's going to suck. The only difference is that a fish gets caught, the fish is dead. Unless you're catch and release, I guess. You're typically not going to die from taking risk. Typically. I can't say you won't die depending on the risk. Typically, you're pretty safe, unless you're stupid and taking stupid, dangerous risks. I'm talking about risk, not danger. But yeah, that's kind of the way I perceived it, so take for that what you will. And if you think in metaphors like me, hopefully you appreciate that. I think there's one more quote left, and then I'll end this video. To get better, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You can't do the same thing you've always done and still improve. Gosh, I love reading these. This is awesome. The quote, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results, is 100% true. And that's what technically what this is saying. To get better, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You can't do the same thing you've always done and improve. If you're that fish, you can't always keep your mouth shut unless you're going to stay that fish forever. You're never going to move up in the fish world. You're never going to get a better fish house and try new fish food. If you're constantly lifting 100 pounds, and you lift that over and over and over and over every single day for 10 years, you may never be able to lift above 110 pounds. If you lift 100 pounds for a month or two, then you move up to 110, then 120, 130, 140, you'll get there. You have to modify, you have to pivot, you have to get stronger, you have to get better, you have to keep moving forward or you're going to stay there. What is is it Newton's law? An object in motion stays in motion. Let me pull that up a second. Actually, I think it's in this book. Newton's first law of motion. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction, unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. You need to be that unbalanced force, or you're going to stay in that same spot. Once you get that momentum going, that's going to carry you into something else, and you need to be consistent. If you work out 2 or 3 days a week, that's great. But if you can get that going consistently for a month, 2 months, a month, 2 months, 3 months, that's going to keep just carrying you. And you got to continue to stay disciplined, obviously, but it's going to make it easier and easier because you're going to wake up and your mind's going to be like, I work out today. And it's pushing you forward. So you already got over that mental barrier. You're going to have to get over that mental barrier for the first week, sometime months, before it starts getting difficult. But if you can establish that habit, half the work is already done. Like, your mind is there. You just have to go do it. An object in motion stays in motion. I'm going to go back to the original quote that was said too. To get better, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You can't do the same thing you've always done and improve. Go do something new. What is something you've always wanted to do? Something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone. Don't even start at that level 10 out of your comfort zone yet. If you're at level 1, go to step 2. I think I can move to step 3. I think I can level up to level 3. Keep going. An object in motion stays in motion. It's going to carry you. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push yourself. There's no limit to how many levels you can complete in a year or 90 days if you stay consistent. Switch it up. Alright guys, that's it. Hopefully you guys appreciated the video. Hopefully you're able to extract some wisdom out of these quotes that have impacted some of my friends. Yeah, hopefully this helps you guys. That's the goal here. Again, I'm Josh Wickland. I do not yet have a name, so I'm not a name for the channel, so I'm not even gonna say it, but by the time I publish this, I'm sure I'll think of something. See you guys. Well, I'll try that. I'm trying to think of an intro. There's a lot to think about here. This is like the staple of the channel.